Hello guys, welcome to today's video. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Without wasting time, let's watch.
Sad and messed up that happens in your 30s that people don't really talk about. God, my friends are going to think I'm talking about them specifically. I don't have anyone in mind. This is very general. It's that you'll start to see people get married to whoever they're conveniently dating at the time when they feel like they should be getting married, but it's not the love of their life. Like, they're not madly in love with this person. This person checks off multiple boxes. Like, they're kind, they're good looking, they have a decent job, they want kids, they're nice to my dog. But as far as that carnal attraction, that spark, compatibility, that chemistry, it's just not there. They're not turned on mentally, emotionally, physically. They almost love this person like a family member. And when you're in your 30s, you're at this age where even if you don't feel that, it's not really worth it to break up, because then you feel like you're starting over and you have to date. All of your friends are already like getting married and having kids, and you feel like you'll be like a few years behind. They pop the question, they get married, and there's nothing wrong with it. Like, no judgment. These people will probably be married for 50 years. The white picket fence, all of the above. It just won't be that fun. They're friends. They're just not lovers. I mean, I've seen it in like different friends' parents, even growing up. It's like sit in separate rooms every night, watch their separate shows, go to bed at different times. Might even sleep in totally different rooms. I know my parents did for a time. They don't laugh together. They're not like snort, pissing their pants, laughing. There's nothing wrong with it. I think for me, is I know what it feels like to be with someone who doesn't really get me. And I've been in relationships where like I'm laying there with someone, but I still feel alone. And I think because I've come out on the other side of that, and I do really feel like I have that like Hallmark movie, like The Notebook love. I want that so badly for other people. You can't say anything. It's not like if people get engaged, you can be like, are you sure? You guys don't really like each other that much. No, you just go with it. You celebrate them, and it's not your life. God, I have people in my life that are probably sitting there like, is she talking about me? Fuck her. I don't have anybody like in mind specifically. It's a thing that happens. And I do wonder, like, if this video blows up, I wonder if people in the comments will say, yeah, I was married for 50 years and the whole time I was thinking about someone else, or wishing that I had pursued a relationship with somebody that I had more natural chemistry with, or whatever. Maybe people who feel like they wasted their life with someone. I don't know. I don't want to cause drama. I don't know, babe. Please. Have a good evening.
I've been married for 5 years and we have a 3-year-old son. A week into our marriage, during our honeymoon, he argued with me and gave me the silent treatment. That's when I knew I had made a mistake.
Oh, man.
I got pregnant within the first month of our marriage and I was ecstatic. I love children. But throughout my pregnancy, he was a total arse. He constantly compared my symptoms to people he knew and tried to downplay my experience, even though I had a very traumatic pregnancy and birth. We spent the first year of our marriage living apart while I waited for my paperwork to join him. Once we were under the same roof, I was in complete shock at the kind of man he really was. He would spend all his time playing video games, never paying attention to me or our child. He expected me to do all the cooking and cleaning because he was paying for everything and I was a stay-at-home mum. In the beginning, I was okay with each of us having our own domain, but I quickly realized I was getting the short end of the stick. I cooked, cleaned, and cared for our child 24/7, while he got to sleep in, relax on weekends, go out with friends, and play video games after work. That's when I started my plan. He's never been physically abusive, but I believe he is emotionally abusive. He never wants to spend time with me or talk to me. And if we do talk, it usually ends in an argument where he makes me feel small, or he'll chat for a few minutes and then say, well, I did my part for the day and spoke to you. Like he's timing our conversations. 2 years ago, I got a job and we started splitting bills. Since then, I expected he'll do more chores, but nothing changed despite me bringing it up multiple times. You might ask, how did you marry him without seeing the side? Well, before marriage, he was completely different. He spoke to me every single day, was emotionally present, spent money on me, and we traveled together. Once we got married, he completely changed. I was bamboozled.
Oh, wow.
To name just a few things, he called me unattractive, and that's why he doesn't want to have sex. I've gained 6 kg since marriage. He's gained 15. He
The audacity!
He told
Hey, Norbit.
He told me if he'd known about my ambitions beforehand, he wouldn't have married me. I'm not into corporate jobs. I'm more entrepreneurial. He often gets himself food without getting anything for us, even though I was always buying for all 3 of us. There's a million more things, but if I listed them all, it would take an entire podcast episode. My plan that I've been working on for the past 2 years is save enough money to cover at least a year's worth of rent and bills, finish my degree so I have a solid educational backup, grow my business alongside my 9-to-5 job, buy a car next year so I can have independence and take my son to school, get my legal documents in order before handing him divorce papers. I haven't told anyone and I don't plan to. To everyone else, we look like a great couple who get along well, but right now I don't care about appearances. I'm doing what needs to be done so that when I leave, I never have to depend on him again. I'm playing the long game.
Okay, so I've been married for 5 years, and here.
We are hearing people sharing their reality stories about their marriage. It's interesting, guys. Let's continue watching these clips together.
There's 5 pieces of advice that I wish I gave my younger self preparing to be married today. Number 1, keep folks out your business. Oh, this needs to be number 1. Y'all need to get this to your head. Keep people out y'all business. I know in our younger ages, when we had boyfriends and girlfriends, we were just like, oh my God, I need to call you, I need to tell you about what my man did or what my girl did. The moment you tell them, they no longer will like that person. I don't care if they pretend to like them secretly, they don't like your partner anymore. So the moment you tell them something negative, it will stick with them for the rest of their life. You'll be over it. You're on to the next. You guys are back in La La Land, happy land, and now you got this person that also has this information that you wish you never shared in the first place. Keep your mouth shut, focus on your marriage, keep everything between you and your marriage. I mean, there's nothing wrong with having a friend to share certain things with, but I would keep it very minimal. Number 2, stop trying to make the person you are with be like you. You guys are 2 separate people. You are not the same. You guys did not grow up the same. You guys probably had different morals, different parenting, different lifestyles. Stop trying to make the person that you met somebody else than who they were. There's nothing wrong with getting better and being the best version of yourself, but when it comes to changing an entire person's trait, unfortunately, that's who you married, that's who you gotta stick with. Because the moment you try to change them, if your partner does change, they will end up resenting you for it, and that'll probably end to divorce. Number 3, no one is perfect. I have to be very careful what I say here because no one is perfect. If your partner and you truly love each other, you guys have great communication skills, you truly love each other to the core, and your partner makes a mistake, and you know they are truly sorry for that mistake, it is okay to forgive. Let go. This is not when we were younger and we had boyfriend and girlfriends, and as soon as they fucked up one time, we were like, all right, we're done, out the door. When you are married, you have to work through the stuff that you don't like just as much as the stuff you do like. And I mean, it will humble you. It will humble you. There are things that you probably did not accept that now you kind of have to work around. I'm not saying to continue to accept those. I'm telling you that no one is perfect, and it's okay for people to make mistakes as long as they are doing the work to better themselves. Okay, my next one is make sure you have a life outside of your partner. This is something I truly have to work on because I feel like once you are married and you start to live with them and you move away from your friends, you move away from your family, sometimes you look to your partner to be all of those things. Like, my husband is just that person where everyone wants to be around him. He has the energy where as soon as he comes, the party starts. And like I told him one day, I was like, I'm sorry that you have to carry that weight of being that person for everyone. And it's hard. Like, I'm the person where I used to be the fun one. I used to do those things. So now I put myself in a position where I'm like, all right, what did I learn then that I can do better now? And that is do things that I like to do outside of my partner. Things that are my hobbies, social media, art, vision, fashion, going out to eat, hanging out with girlfriends, going on a trip. Keep those things in alignment, because the moment you stop doing those things, you're just gonna feel like empty, and that's not what you want to do in a marriage. Okay, so my next one is basically not going to sleep angry, but I want to kind of add to that. So it's okay to go to bed and y'all upset with each other, whatever, like, y'all get over it. The next day, end it. Y'all can still deal with it whenever you need to deal with it, but once you've dealt with that, don't bring it up anymore. Let me give you guys some harsh truths about marriage that you need to know about. Remember, my advice is bad advice and bad advice only, so good girls, scroll past by. This video is not to discourage you from getting married. I'm not one of those people. I myself am married. I'm enjoying my marriage. I don't know if you will enjoy yours too, but there are just some things that you need to know about marriage so that when you're going into it, you're going with your eyes open. And if you're there already, it is time to shine your eyes. The first thing is that marriage doesn't make a man generous. It only exposes how generous he already was. If this man is struggling to spend on you while you guys are dating, when you guys get married, he will not automatically turn into a provider. In fact, it will even be more stingy, because now he already got you. There is nothing for him to lose. Baby, you are going to sweat. Him giving you that ring is not going to cure his stinginess. It's just going to legalize it and make it worse. Number two, you need to know that love doesn't reduce the workload for you as a woman. If your boundaries are very weak, you don't know when to say no, you don't have strong boundaries, things that you can do, things that you cannot do, baby, in your marriage, it is going to multiply and things are honestly going to get worse. When you get married, you're not just becoming the wife, you're becoming the planner, the organizer, emotional regulator, the default parent. So if you do not set limits early, baby, you are going to overwork yourself. That's why you need to tell your man, these are the things I can do, these are the things I cannot do, so that you don't become the one who does every single thing while he just sits back and say, oh, all I have to do is provide. Because baby, there is more than just providing money. And when you accept all of these different roles, it becomes your permanent role. And once you stop doing any of this, it will start saying like, oh, you don't want this marriage anymore, you don't want this home anymore, just because you now want to set boundaries. So you need to set your boundaries early on. This is another one that people don't like hearing. Marriage doesn't fix character, it just magnifies it. So if it's good before, it's probably going to be better in marriage. But if he's bad, baby, he's going to be worse. If he was a thoughtful person, it will show more in your marriage. But if he's a careless person, the person that likes to go out freelance, baby, it's going to get worse, because it's like, now I don't have to explain anything anymore. Now I can do whatever I want. That's why I usually tell young girls, choosing well matters than just marrying early. You know, when we're growing up, we're like, oh, once I'm done with uni, I want to get married. All those guys. Baby, take that thing out of your mind, okay?
16 years married on the 18th of this month, y'all. And I'll tell you that my marriage has stretched me in ways that I never saw coming. A lot of those days have been very, very painful, but a lot of those days has taught me a lot about who I am. See, most people think that marriage is just love, rings, and routines, but marriage is going to pull you, push you, and make you feel things that you didn't even know you could feel. My marriage has stretched my pride. It has stretched parts of me that used to shut down, used to be easy to walk away, used to say that I'm fine when I knew I wasn't, showing up when I didn't feel like it, talking when I didn't want to, loving when I didn't feel like I could, feeling understanding, loving and choosing we instead of me. It stretched me to communicate when silence felt easier. It stretched me to apologize even when I wanted to defend. It stretched me to listen more and not to just respond, but to understand the man that I said yes to. Marriage made me look at my own self and not just him, because sometimes the real battle isn't just them. It's the version of you that you're trying to outgrow. And if I can be transparent, some days are very, very uncomfortable. Some days are very humbling. but every day is absolutely worth it. Because see, I'm not just becoming a better spouse, I'm becoming a better me. So if you are in a season where marriage is stretching you, don't run from it. Grow through it. Stretching doesn't break you. What it does is absolutely prepare you.
At the age of 54 and 2 divorces later, let me give you the marriage advice I wish that I had listened to. Love is not enough. Marry for character, not just chemistry. You're not just marrying them, you're marrying their habits, their debt, and their family drama. Marriage will never fix loneliness. The wrong person will make it worse. You can't marry potential. You're not a life coach, you're a spouse. Being alone is way better than wishing you were. The right person will make you feel safe. The wrong one will make you feel small. We'll figure it out is not a financial plan. Some people don't want love. They want control. Learn the difference. You should be excited to marry them, not just relieved that they finally committed. Be prepared to marry the whole family.
Can I tell y'all a secret? One time my husband and I looked at each other and we were like, oh yeah, like we see why people get divorced. This is my realistic point of view as someone who has been married for 1.5 years, and the truth about marriage. I think that we get sold this idea of a big wedding, but not the idea of what it actually takes to maintain a healthy marriage. And I also think that it's so easy to allow other people to judge a marriage when they ain't never been married a day in their life. Until you are in a marriage, you truly do not understand what it takes, what it requires emotionally, spiritually, financially, mentally. It's so easy to get caught up in having a big old nice wedding, but actually not being committed to the hard days, the hard weeks, the hard months. As somebody who has been married for 1.5 years, one of the things that I've learned is that a healthy marriage will hold a mirror up to you and will tell you the things that you need to work on and the things that you need to be better at. Because, child, I thought I was perfect. I thought I was a catch. I got a PhD. I got a good career. I got good credit. I'm beautiful. What else could you need? Well, apparently there's a lot. Apparently you need to be able to reflect on your mistakes and admit and take accountability when you could have done better. Apparently you also need to over-communicate. Apparently you need to watch your tone. Apparently you need to respect your partner at all times. Apparently you don't need to have everybody up in your business and you need to have conversations with your partner. Apparently you got to make time for each other and reconnect. Apparently you got to make sure that, you're allowing somebody to both be an individual, but also show up as a collective in the marriage. Apparently there's a lot of stuff that goes on in a marriage. And I share this because I remember when I was single and I was wanting marriage, it felt like all I could think of was, I need to be married, I want to be married, and Can I tell y'all a secret? Being married is harder than I ever imagined. No, but for real, I see a lot of people on here when they talk about marriage, they go like, oh, it's so wonderful, or I can't wait to see my husband, my man. And I'm just going to go ahead and give y'all a realistic point of view for me. Okay, this don't mean this is everybody. And I'm not saying those girls are lying. But baby, when I tell you marriage tests you, it tests you like nothing else. Okay, I have been tested, tried through fire. And my husband is an amazing man. He's an amazing person. He is so kind. He is so gentle. Sometimes we don't see eye to eye on things and we just look at a situation differently. And I'm a very passionate person, so when he's like says his opposing view, I'm like, that don't make sense to me. Why would you think that way? And then I just get so like, I get so amped because I'll be like, I don't get it. I don't get why you think that way. And it turns into a whole thing. And then he's very deep. So he wants to do a deep dive analysis. And for me, I'm like, you know what? Forget it. But he's like, no. We're not into the conversation. Let's go deep. And so then we have to go deep. And I don't like having all them long conversations. That's one thing. Another thing is I always ask God for a man that was really smart and that wore glasses and that was studious and loved to read, right? Y'all, why did God give me just that?
literally gave me just that. But I didn't know that on the other side of that, that came with someone who is kind of a know-it-all and like will definitely tell you, you know, he gives me a scientific breakdown or scientific analysis or read out about every little thing. Literally, we had a power outage most of the week, and our food, we were trying to figure out how can we save our food in the freezer because it was still frozen after 2 days, and we were like trying to put it into coolers. He then goes through this whole thing about this deep dive on, what did he even call it? The hypotherm something. I don't even know. Half of the words he uses, I don't even know what they mean. Okay? I have to look them up. I think it was thermodynamics. And y'all, I am not slow. I'm very smart, okay? But that's a whole nother thing. But I asked for that. God gave me what I asked for. So obviously, I guess I can handle it. But I got to dig deep to find the strength to handle it. Also, my husband is very logical. So it's very point A to point B to point C, C to D. Me, I'm a little bit more of a free spirit. So I may go from point A to point D. I done skip B and C. And then I'm skipping on down to G. Then I'm going back to B. So I'm kind of like, nah. And he's like, I'm not following you. And I'm like, why aren't you following me? So even in our couples therapy, our couples therapist was like, I think you should get tested for ADHD. You know, just to see, because, you know, that's probably why you kind of can think about all these different things at one time and go through them pretty quickly, where he's very linear, okay? This is not something I prepare for or plan for marriage that we would be. I mean, even when we were dating, this kind of stuff came up, but it was like, it wasn't even, I don't want to even say it's different, because it wasn't different. It was just, it felt more manageable. And it's not that it's not manageable now, but it's just a layer of something that you have to work through. So when people talk about marriage being hard, I assume they're talking about these same type of things that I'm talking about. I'm not sure. Food, you know, how we like split up, do household chores, how we do like things like that, we click on, we get. But it's just it's like certain topics we'll talk about. Like we'll watch a video on the internet, I'll be like, no, she wrong or he wrong. He'd be like, no, I don't think so, I think the other person's wrong. We're like, and we go into this huge debate, and it's like, but then the problem is, yeah, it seems fun, but then it starts translating over into like a conversation. We start relating it to our current life, and then I begin so crunk and so passionate about it, it just becomes a whole thing. And it's just hard because I'm just like, why you don't see it the way I see it?
I watched this amazing video this morning that I have not been able to stop thinking about, and I will tag the person who posted it in the caption so you can go watch it. It was so good. And they were talking about how the financial advice that we were given, the financial future that we were sold, is not compatible with reality. It is simply not possible in the life that we are actually living with how the system is currently set up. The idea that you need to pay off all of your credit cards, you need to pay off your student loan debt, invest. Those are your tickets to financial freedom and financial security. Not possible, not real, not doable in how the system is actually really set up. And I've been thinking about that in comparison to something else that's been on my mind a lot lately that I've been processing, which is the idea or the fantasy of marriage that we were sold, that it's supposed to be this beautiful equal partnership. And the reality is that's not materializing for a lot of us. Whether you are single and dating men or married to a man, so many of us are going, where is this equal partnership? This is not what I thought it was supposed to be. Because at 30 years old, there is nothing that I need a man for. There is nothing that a man can provide for me that I can't already provide for myself. I want an equal partner. So when I date men, I look at what they're able to provide and offer, and I compare it to myself and what I'm able to provide and offer. And I want an equal partnership. I'm not going to settle for less. I don't want to be with somebody who cannot, at the very least, provide what I'm able to provide, if not more. And then I look at my parents who got married in 84, and they were part of this last generation of people where they were raised with the idea that you get married and you stay together. All the while, women were gaining financial freedom and security. They didn't need a husband for loans. They didn't need a husband for credit cards. So over the last 50, 60 years, women have been self-actualizing in this way, going, well, if I don't need a husband for money, I want a partner. I want an equal, because now I have my own money, and so I want to be able to have an equal partnership with somebody. And that's not real. That doesn't exist for so many of us. We want equal partners, but we're not able to find equal partners. So we get to this place where we're going, so what was the point of marriage? What was the point of marriage if I don't need financial stability or security and I want an equal partner, but the men have not been changing or evolving in the same way over the same time? So it's just very interesting, because I'm at this place now where I'm like, what do I need marriage for then? If I'm not able to find an equal partner and I don't need a man for money, then
It's good to hear the experience of others. As you have heard, some are good and some bad. But the main thing is that both parties should work together to keep their marriage alive. I'm going to close this video here.
why do I need marriage? I watched this amazing video this morning that I have not been able.
It's good to hear the experience of others. As you have heard, some are good and some bad. But the main thing is that both parties should work together to keep their marriage alive. I'm going to close this video here, and I'm going to see you on the next video.